Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us here at the pod with Cool Sports Guy. My name is Jose, and I'll be your host for the evening. Joining me today is Tom, and across from him is Rob. As always, we have a plethora of topics to cover today, and most of us talk way too much, so we might not have enough time, but we'll try to get there one way or another. Thank you for joining us on a journey nonetheless. So, with that being said, first topics of the day. We're going to recap the NFL playoffs, see how everything is going, how is everything shaping up, how our brackets are shaping up, because we all had our picks from last week, and we all did amazing. Going to discuss some of the news coming up in this past week in the sports world, and just kind of go from there. But with that being said, Tom, what do you got for us today? How's your NFL weekend?
4-0. NFL weekend is 4-0. Suck on that, Rob. No, good picks all around this weekend. Had some tough choices, but I'm glad I made all the right ones. Now, just one game away from tying with Mr. Rob across from me. So looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, I'm 3-1. I bet on the Ravens to beat the Bills. I don't know what I was thinking. Now that I've had many nights of sleep afterwards, I guess I've just, for whatever reason, I believe that's AFC, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, AFC.
Yep.
I just can't call them all right. I'm missing one every single time. Still have the best record. Don't get me wrong. I'm still 7-2. But if I want to keep my record intact, I'm going to need to make sure that I go for 2 for 2 this week, and then 1 for 1 on the Super Bowl. Something that I don't think that we talked about during the podcast last time is something that needs probably to be spoken now. The reason that we're having this, continuous competition is because whoever wins the other two, or if there's a tie, the loser has to buy the winner a case of Heineken. So that's the stakes. Obviously super high. I think Heineken's one of the most expensive ones out there. I want to say like a 12-pack is probably like $12. So that's what we're risking. That's what we're risking, all right? Half an NFL salary right there. So I'm looking forward to this week's picks. I think I got it on lock, and I think I'm just going to continue to whoop on y'all. So that's my take.
Good luck, buddy.
Yes, I think so. I think after going 4-0 as well, it's going to be kind of hard to lose that momentum going into the divisional round, conference championship round. That's what it was. But let's throw it back, see what happened. Green Bay versus LA. I think we all had the same pick on that one, right?
Yep.
Yes.
We all picked Green Bay.
So thoughts on the game, Rob? What do you think about this game?
So I did pick Green Bay. I think I said that I wanted to pick LA just because how good their defense, or at least how much of a better matchup I thought Jalen Ramsey and Devontae Adams was going to be. Devontae Adams played very well. I think he had 9 catches and 1 touchdown, which, whenever you're being trailed by Jalen Ramsey, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I kind of wish I would have seen some more out of Jalen, and obviously more out of Aaron, but he got injured and got taken out of the game. He obviously wasn't feeling himself. You saw him crying after the game because he knew that was their shot right there. Like, if he had been fully healthy, if they would have actually taken control of the moment, they probably could have won that game, but instead they got blown out. Aaron Rodgers had a phenomenal game. Per usual, LaFleur got the best of his mentor. It was just a pretty good game. I feel bad for LA. Hopefully next year they have it more figured out, and hopefully they come into with a better postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we did pick Green. I picked Green Bay as well. I know on the last podcast we did mention, I mentioned, hey, in a perfect world, I would want LA to win because I also would want the Bucs to beat New Orleans, and I want the NFC Championship game in Tampa Bay. But that didn't work out. Even if Aaron Donald played more snaps and he was healthy, I don't think Rams would have went home with the victory. I think it would have been a closer game, but I don't think it would have been. I don't think it would have been a win for the LA Rams. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, still great defense, and Aaron Rodgers played lights out. I think Devontae Adams played very well. I don't know why NFL still hasn't found a way to cover that guy when they need to, but that Packers team, they look a lot different than they were earlier in the season, I'll tell you that. And good luck to Tampa going in January in that weather and playing against them.
Agreed. I mean, I think you nailed it when you said Aaron Rodgers playing out of his mind. It's just, but I mean, all that being put together, so many offensive weapons. And I thought, last week when I talked about it, key points for LA, Goff being healthy, they weren't able to just really muster up any type of offense. I think Goff turned out to be the great equalizer on that. Like you said, not being able to move the ball. If you look at all the stat line, I mean, everything that Green Bay did, 484 total yards, nearly 300 passing yards for Aaron Rodgers, rushing, everything is just just a dominant performance, controlling the ball 36 minutes out of the versus LA 23 minutes. So, and then the key thing, another key thing, Green Bay keeping Aaron Rodgers standing. They couldn't get to him, like you said. Donald couldn't rush him, couldn't get there fast enough. Those are big things that just add up. And I think he did mention Devontae Adams, right? 9 receptions, 66 yards, and a touchdown. But he spread the ball around too. I mean, you have your all-stars, and I think it's good, when you're able to find those players, those guys. I'm not gonna say Lazard is a nobody, but I mean, people that you can always come back to and just make big plays. I think it was at the second quarter when Lazard caught that towards the end of the second quarter, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So, I mean, being able to find those guys, make those plays really paid off. And, 32-18. I mean, but LA's got a good team. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Then they got a good core. We'll see who comes back next year. And hopefully Goff can come back healthy, So I think the last couple of weeks have proven.
He actually played pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goff actually played pretty well.
Yeah, considering he had a hand injury too.
Yeah.
That
he was 21 of 27.
I know,
Right.
but I'm saying considering he had a hand injury that he's still recovering from, he played very well. And Cam Akers played very well too.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a rookie. So
Yeah.
imagine the year that he'll have next year now that he has postseason performance, postseason experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Rams, man. I like them going forward. They're young. They're good. And on defense, man, they're more talented than any other team.
I think he played good. I think healthy Goff, that game's a lot closer. I mean, there's no question about it. Just to me, still not bad though. Green Bay going into they're playing in Green Bay, right?
Yes.
Next game, yeah.
Yeah, next
so-
game's in Green Bay.
Oh yeah, they got the home field. So, all right. Anything y'all want to add on to this last couple?
No.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the Ravens versus Bills. Thoughts on this one, Tom? What do you think?
I picked the Bills, and the Bills won. It was a very interesting game. It sucked that Lamar Jackson went out in the third quarter. We would have maybe the game would have been a little different. But I mean, I think the game was closer than the score suggested. There was just a few bad decisions Ravens just made here and there that just made the game so much more lopsided than it was supposed to. The pick six, 101-yard pick six. I mean, the Ravens had the momentum going. I mean, it was shifting. It was a 7-point game. They were all the way down inside the 5-yard line. And, again, there's that one bad play that they made that went in the opposite direction. Now, instead of tying up the game, you go up 2 scores. And I think that was a nail in the coffin. After that, completely shifted the momentum all the way down to the Bills side. After that, there was no coming back. Like I said, I think if Lamar stayed in the game, maybe he would go back, put another score up, make the game look a lot closer, or get it closer. But I don't necessarily think after that pick six, I don't think they were going to come back. But definitely proud of the way they fought, holding the Bills to 17 points. Definitely proud of the way Lamar Jackson played. And hey, you know what? He finally won a playoff game last week. Mm-hmm. So good for him, one step at a time, and he's definitely has a potential future. And the only other thing I want to add, one of the great things we all love about sports is it's Bills fans, Bills Mafia, all coming together and donating to Lamar Jackson's favorite charity.
Yeah.
Good guy, Bills.
Yeah, I believe they're called Blessings in Backpack. It's a nonprofit charity that works to ensure children who are fed through federal programs during the week. And right now with COVID, a lot of kids not going to school. That's where they get their free meals from. There's a lot of families struggling. Lamar Jackson donates to them. So right after the game, one of the fans reached out and they started donating money, and they're now over $360,000 that's donated to that charity. So
awesome, yeah.
Kudos. Thank you, Bills Mafia. If you guys are listening, proud of you guys.
Very nice.
Yeah, so for me, this game is very, very strange. I think it all came down to execution. If you look at the stat lines, the Ravens were better in almost every single category. More total yards, more passing yards, more rushing yards, more yards per play, more first downs. They converted more third downs. They had a better percentage. Their efficiency was better. They had more plays. They had more sacks. And they had more time of possession. But what they did have more, and this is probably what cost them the game, they had a lot more penalties. They had 4 times the amount of penalties that the Bills had. And they were all the way up and down the field the entire time, but they couldn't execute. They couldn't, find the end zone, which really sucks because they did have a good game. I think Ricard.
They came into the red zone a couple of times.
He came to play too. Ricard had a great game. I think he kind of put himself on the map for a lot of people. Not many people pay attention to fullbacks, but he was pretty dominant in that game. And it sucks for me because, I picked the Bills. It even sucks even worse looking at these stat lines.
You picked the Ravens?
Or I picked the Ravens. I'm sorry. Yeah, it sucks more looking at these stat lines because you see how well they played, but how many penalties they gave up, how much yards they gave up, and they just couldn't execute. And hopefully they, look back at this and learn, like, hey, we need to make sure that we are disciplined when we come into these games. You can't jump the lines. You can't be offsides. You have to play with poise, and that's something they didn't do, unfortunately, and it cost them the game.
Yeah, I think you nail it down with the execution. I think we talked about this last week. Bills have been scoring quick. They adapt a Cobra Kai motto: strike first, strike hard, right? So, but the first half of this game was really close. It was 3 points up, for each team. Third quarter, I think that's where it really kicked off. A lot of series of events. Lamar Jackson going down. He was injured in the third quarter, but they were already down 2 scores at that game. So what do you do with a guy with a playmaker like Lamar Jackson down? Because I think for the Ravens, Marquise Brown, it's like the only real player with like real contribution on the offense. So having that right there, but the Bills got to the quarterback. They got to the quarterback 4 times, right? So they sacked Lamar Jackson 4 times, but it didn't happen until late in the game. So that's kind of like different than what Bills usually do. Usually they've been scoring really fast, scoring quickly, and then just kind of coasting to the end. Not the case this time. However, they were able to coast to the end, going up against backup quarterback. But I mean, was it Chad Henne? Am I right on saying that?
Yeah,
Chad Henne coming in. He actually made some good plays. I mean, like he put them in a position where they could have come a little closer. Nothing developed from that, but. Overall, yeah. So Bills heading on to the conference championship. I was just about to say divisional championship again. I'm like, we're past this, okay? So, but yeah, good game overall, though. I mean, I know the score seems a little lopsided, but it was.
Chad Henne plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Darn it, I knew it. Who's their backup quarterback? Tell me, please.
For who?
That's
Henne.
the Chiefs' backup.
Chad Henne.
Tyler Huntley is the backup quarterback for the Ravens.
And
okay, I was already looking ahead at the Chiefs, so when he said Henne, I was like, yeah, that's it.
Because
something sounded off. I was like, wait, that doesn't make any
thank
sense.
you. But you know what? He played also. That's why he's also
Chad Henne did. I was going to get to that.
Yes. So I wasn't too off. He did come in because of an injured starting quarterback. So thank you for the fact check, though. I appreciate it. So, but with that being said, hey, I was just about to talk about the Browns versus Chiefs. The Browns versus Chiefs. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because I got a bone to pick on this one.
Go for it.
That touchback is the stupidest, worst rule
First controversy on Cool Sports Guy.
Oh man, he ain't lying though.
in the history of sports rules. It's just the worst.
Man,
There's so many things wrong with that one play.
where do you start?
So touchback, first off, I get both sides. I get it was an incredible play that he made. I forget the guy's name who made the play. My bad, because I'm too mad about everything else to think about what your name is. But why is it that if you fumble the ball into the end zone and it goes out of bounds, that the defense automatically gets the ball?
Well, what would you have it be?
Maybe
'Cause he can't call that a touchdown.
why would you call it a touchdown? You could just put a penalty on it to where it's like, okay, you can start from where the ball fumbled 15 yards back. So 15 yards back from wherever the ball fumbled, boom, you get the ball there. Or you just replay the down. You don't get anything. Nobody's the wiser. You start from wherever you just were. Replay second down, replay third down, whatever it is. You just replay that play. It's so dumb that it just immediately gets turned over like that.
I mean, I'd be okay with a loss of down, maybe not replay it down because it gives it.
Okay, so go second down to third down?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that too. But
Yeah.
to just, you have nothing after that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I get people say don't dive for the pylons. Like, don't be aggressive like that.
That's the rule, though.
They only
It's a
say that when you fumble
stupid
the ball.
rule.
No, I'm talking about the plane. So wherever you're
Yeah,
at in the
if
world, as long as you get past those pylons.
Yeah, it's a touchdown. But
So-
why, it's so stupid. And the second stupid thing about that is the helmet-to-helmet not being
Oh, man.
reviewable. I get that it can be difficult, and there's so many more rules to protect offense than there is defense.
Mm-hmm.
But the NFL going through all their scandals that they have with CTE and concussions, you'd think at this point by now that you'd be able to review those types of plays. And even if it's not like reviewing the actual like head-to-head contact, like if you see a play or like you're reviewing any sort of penalty, any sort of flag play, if you see a head-to-head contact, they should go by which is the more like egregious penalty. So is the fumble more egregious, or is the fact that he like could have got that guy concussed and taken him out the game, or even worse, like
Injured.
Woodford end up in an ambulance and you're on your way to the hospital mid-game, and then it's kind of, I don't want to say ironic because it's not ironic, but the fact that Patrick Mahomes got a concussion in that game too. Like these types of plays need to be reviewable. I think if the Browns get that ball back, I think they actually win that game. And it just sucks that it came down to a stupid rule like that, stupid non-reviewing helmet-to-helmet contact, and just letting that game go to waste like that, because it was such a good game up until that point, and Higgins was having such a good performance too. And then, nobody talks about how well he was doing up until that point. They only talk about him fumbling the ball into the end zone now. And now it's become this giant controversy, which it should be, because it's a stupid rule.
It's a lot subjective too. Like I think there was a play in the Saints and Bucks game too. He let in with his shoulder, but helmet to helmet contact, and that was called a penalty. This one was blatant. You can see him going head on into him, and yeah, cost him the play, cost him the touchdown, cost him the yards. I don't know if he was all the way in. I think he had already fumbled the ball at that, but the impact of that hit is what caused that. So
yeah,
a lot of variables in there. Yeah, and just to see how. I mean, obviously, every year you find a new way, a new rule. Pass interference being reviewable. Was it the Saints and Vikings game a few years back? Was it 2 years back? Anybody?
Oh, it wasn't Saints and Fight. You're talking about Rams and Saints, which was in. So there's two of them actually.
I think the Saints got robbed on that.
You
one.
talking about the no PI call?
Yeah.
So that was the Rams Saints NFC Championship game. That was a low scoring game. It was I think it was 13 to or it was a very low scoring game, and it was on a third down. Drew Brees threw the ball, and that was 100% no doubt.
Yeah,
a pass interference, and the refs didn't call it. They had to kick a field goal. Rams went back down. Game it into overtime. Granted, Saints got the ball. Right. Drew Brees threw a pick. Rams came back and kicked a field goal in overtime to win the game. But Yeah, that, and then there was a little bit of controversy on the following year, last year, Saints versus Vikings in the end zone in overtime. The catch, they said there was push off, but they didn't call that either.
Right,
but that's an argumentative one. But the Rams Saints one, that was 100%. That was.
But it was it wasn't challengeable back then. That's what it was. It wasn't challengeable back then. Now it is. So
and it should be challengeable.
Yeah.
But they did change the rule to make it challengeable, and then halfway through the season, everyone hated the fact that those calls were challengeable because it was going all kinds of different ways, and it was creating more problems. That's why they're like, all right, screw this. We're done with this.
Yeah, I mean, I get like not wanting every single play to be reviewable because then it just makes the
slows
games.
down the game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to turn into baseball where every single football game is like 5 hours long. You don't want that, but.
Right.
Whenever you're saying that you're so focused on player safety, and people in the NFL get injured literally all the time, but brain injuries are something not to mess around with, literally ruins the rest of your life. And like it just should be reviewable. Like any sort of contact like that should be reviewable. Even if you didn't catch it at first, if you catch it in a review, it should be a penalty. And I get everybody saying that, they don't want to slow the game down, but like you don't want to slow that person's life down either by them getting hit in the head over and over again.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on this game there, Tom?
I mean, yeah, it was a very interesting no call.
Yeah, I should mention I picked the Chiefs.
Yeah, we all picked the Chiefs, and look, I mean, a lot of things went down in that game. As of right now, we're not even 100% sure if Patrick Mahomes will be back to play. He seems like and looks like he will more than likely be back. So you can make the argument, hey, if that call was there, Browns would have won the game. I mean, if Patrick Mahomes didn't go out with a concussion, I feel like Chiefs would have still won the game. And even considering what the score was looking like, because Chiefs were still driving back down the field late in the fourth quarter when they had the lead, and on that 4th and 1, they opted to throw the ball, got the first down, knelt. That was still with a minute left, so there is no guarantee they weren't going to go back, because even if Browns would have gotten that touchdown, it would only put them at 24, which would have been a 2-point game. They can still get into field goal range and kick a field goal, win the game, even after that touchback. Baker Mayfield, or Browns offense in general, did get the ball back quite a few times to have the chance to go back. And I mean, they knew they're trailing. They knew they had to go score, but they were just never able to. So I think that's a big factor. So at the end of the day, like, yeah, that call should have been, called. It's not like the New Orleans game where if that PI was called, run the clock out, kick the field goal, win the game, go to the Super Bowl. That's not the case here. This was earlier in the game too, where, again, I get your concerns, but there was a lot more that happened after that no call that could have determined the outcome of the game, and Browns did have their chances to come back and get the lead on the game. And the way Browns offense was playing all season, I mean, they were doing a phenomenal job. And I think with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, their defense don't get enough credit, maybe, because Browns offense is an explosive offense when they get going. And I mean, kudos to that defense for stopping him, especially in the fourth quarter. I mean, they just held him. So
yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but last time we talked about momentum.
Yeah.
And I feel like that specific fumble took all the momentum away from
that might be
the
true.
Browns. And it gave all the momentum to Kansas City because they were like, hell yeah, we just stopped that incredible play that just happened. And we get the ball back now. And I'm pretty sure they scored on that drive as well.
On the following drive?
I think so.
Well, Browns, when Mahomes was in it, they never punted. Just so everybody's on the same page. When Mahomes was playing, the Browns defense was never able to make Kansas City offense punt. I believe there was a missed field goal. That's as closest to they got to stopping that offense.
Yeah,
Kansas City didn't punt at all the whole game. Yeah. So yeah,
it was a good game. I think it was a better game than a lot of people expected.
Yeah,
because what was
a lower scoring game?
Well, the spread wasn't the spread like
10 points? Yeah, which I thought was ridiculous because I don't think Kansas City has covered the spread in the last 10
They
weeks.
haven't, but the Browns are a lot better than people think they are.
Yeah, I don't know why it was only 10 points.
And it sucks that it came down to that for their. And it, Miles Garrett there was some like weird injury with him during that game too. He kept going in and going out, and they kept hyping up the story. But then he was right back in like 2 seconds later. It didn't make sense to me, but that was just not the game that they wanted to. Coach Stefanski, Coach of the Year, did a hell of a job getting this team together.
Yeah,
and they'll be back
he
next
sure
year.
Did. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for the Browns.
Me too. Like.
That's gonna be a pretty good. Well, I don't know how the Steelers are gonna look now.
We'll see.
Big Ben's done, I would say. So
Yeah.
now it's gonna be Lamar and Baker, and I guess Joe Burrow will be back. We'll see how that goes too.
It's
Joe
just a
Burrow.
good division all the way around.
I think Joe Burrow's pretty close to. I think he was ready to go throw the ball. I think so. I mean, he's out there. I don't know. Just take his time. So it'll be a pretty good division over there. Tale of halves. I think like you're talking about momentum, because Kansas City was up 19 points in the first half, and it was like, but the Browns came back in the second half, really made the game a lot closer. Moving forward. Obviously, you have the Mahomes hit. It wasn't really like a hit, I guess. It was a tackle. He kind of brought him down in an awkward
Yeah, it was
angle.
kind of, they said it was like a choke out almost.
It wasn't like an intentional hit or anything. It was just he was just tackled in a really weird angle.
Yeah.
I saw his head bounce, and it was really. I mean, man, I can't believe I know if I were to drop like that, I would not be standing up like Mahomes was. It was just actually making an effort.
Well, as soon as he got up, he wobbled though.
Yeah,
it
was.
not,
I'm like, oh, so
he had a little shell shock.
But I mean, yeah, that was they had a pretty good lead already. They had a lead in that point of the game, but man, Baker, it was Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, all those weapons. Everybody was making plays, get him that close, and yeah, unfortunately, you had that one play that really turned the tide right there. I think because I mean that going the other way. I mean that's a different game right there for Kansas City going into the fourth quarter with their backup quarterback, Chad Henne. That guy. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
that-
the guy.
there you go.
That's the guy.
Okay,
Correct team.
I mean, yeah, I know some stuff. So doing that, it really turns.
He did
turns
have
tide.
one really bad interception, but
Yeah.
Hey,
But-
but the rest of that game, it was his Heineke moment. He was out there playing when he rushed for that first down.
Yep.
That was like Jesus walking on water right there. He did that. That was Heineke
pretty-
style for sure.
Pretty great stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. But then we move on to our final game of the week, the History Channel lineup, the History Channel matchup. I mean, Tom Breeze.
Tom Breeze
I always find a way to mess up.
versus Drew Brady.
Tom Brady versus Drew Brees. Yeah, one for the ages right there. It was a great game. And I know I had it. And now the file that I was going to send you guys has been deleted from my computer now. So I'm going to go off everything that I saw live that day. So, but I'll let you, Tom, take care of this first recap.
Oh man, where do I start? So I actually, for this game, I broke down the percentages of credit that I'm giving to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with Tom Brady, and I think a lot of you guys know I love Tom Brady more than any other player, but a lot of people might be angry at me for saying this. I'm gonna give Tom Brady 24.5% of the credit.
That's
So
fair.
I'm not
No, I
even gonna
think
give him a
that's-
quarter of the credit.
That's a lot less credit than I thought you were going to give him. So I'm surprised.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving him. I'm not giving him a very high. Look, he did his job. He did exactly what he needed to do, and that's where I'll give. Big credit to him. He came into that game knowing, hey, don't turn the ball over, which he didn't. Almost did, but he did not turn the ball over. That was number one, right? Time of possession. Saints offense is really good. Yeah, Saints defense is really good, but keep the ball long as he can. Just drive down the field, make plays, convert third down. You don't always have to go for 40-yard throws on every play. So I think he did his number one focus was to manage the offense the best he could, and he did a phenomenal job of that. So, but he barely finished over 50% of his passes. I think the game in general should have looked a little better. There were still a couple of drops. I think was it Godwin at the end zone towards the end of the half. That dropped. He was that a catch? I want to say that was a catch.
That's the weird one for me because whenever I saw it, I was like, "That's a catch."
Yeah, I felt like he had possession, and then his knee hit the ground, and the ball popped out.
Yeah, I feel like I see that all the time.
I think it's because the initial call was incomplete, and it was, I guess, for the refs, it wasn't enough to overturn it because that was a gorgeous touchdown pass right there. But yeah, I give 24.5% of the credit to Tom Brady. 40% of the credit goes to the defense.
40%. Okay.
Only 40%.
Only 40%, and I'll tell you why here in a second.
Okay.
You'll kind of know why in a second.
Okay.
Defense was outstanding, especially in the fourth quarter. Look, team in general, they flipped the switch from week 9.
Oh,
right? Yeah. It was a 38-3. Brady turned the ball over 3 times. That offense was unable to do anything until late in the fourth quarter, where they finally got 3 points on the board.
Right.
And they held Drew Brees to 20 points, which was just a phenomenal job. I think not turning the ball over on Bucks' offense part gave defense time to just breathe and come out there and be actually in full energy to play, and they did a great job. And here's why the number is only 40% for the defense. 35% of the credit goes to the coaching staff. Every single time the Bucs was losing games, a lot of people were criticizing the crap out of Bruce Arians and his offense and the way they're playing, a lot of things that they're doing. But look, it takes a lot as a coach to just not be stubborn and stick to your game plan, understanding what your players do best, make adjustments where it's needed. You got beat twice by the same team in regular season, and then you went into New Orleans and you went home with a 10-point win. You won the game that counted. Kudos to Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich, Ted Bowles. Defense, good job, buddy. If you're listening, pretty sure you're not, but great job. That puts us at 99.5. We got 0.5% left.
Drew Brees.
This is your Heineke moment.
Okay.
Right here. Tyler Johnson.
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
Tyler Johnson.
Preach.
That catch was unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Yes.
I mean, you know what Brady's thinking when Tyler Johnson made that catch? He's thinking, man, if I had this guy in 2011 against Eli Manning in that Super Bowl, when I tried to throw the ball into Wes Welker's hands and the dude just dropped it, I wish I had Tyler Johnson. That's what Brady's thinking.
Okay.
That was my Heineke moment this weekend right there.
That was an amazing
Tyler Johnson?
play.
Yeah, so 0.5% of the credit goes to Tyler Johnson for the 1 target, 1 catch on a 3rd and 11 for 15 yards. Just
Game changer. Yeah.
Phenomenal job. But, I mean, that Bucks team in general, they're looking good.
Man.
Robert?
So I'm going to go with those percentages with you right now, but I'm
like
going to do them on
it,
the fly because I didn't do this.
I like where you go with this, yeah.
I'm going to give 85% of the credit to the defense.
That's fair.
Devin White had 10 tackles. The next closest on the team was 6. Everybody else had 5 or less. He had 10 tackles and 1 interception. He played out of his mind. So, Devin White, interception. Sean Bunting, interception. And who was the third one? It was Mike Edwards, interception. Those 3 saved that game. I felt so bad. Like, if that is Drew Brees' last game.
It is. We saw the way he walked out of that stadium.
I feel so bad that that's the way that, he had his final game, that he got intercepted 3 times. Now, I feel like each of those interceptions, really good reads on the plays, so I can't give him all the credit for throwing bad balls, but they read those plays really well. Let's see, so that's 85. 15% I'm going to give to the running backs.
Okay.
Because without them, that game would not have been where it was.
That's fair.
They were not throwing the ball as much.
Yeah, I didn't really... look, Tom Brady's 24.5 included the rest of the offense. I probably should have just said offense instead of Tom Brady. I apologize for that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
They had... Tom Brady had 33 attempts.
Yeah.
The... I guess rushing, they had 35 carries. So they had more rushing attempts
But
than
that's
they did
perfect balance
passing
right
attempts.
there, and that's
Yeah.
what Tampa Bay was struggling.
Well, Leonard Fournette played out of his mind. He might not have the craziest stat lines, but watching the game, he was in full control of everything. He was just dominating. And actually, I want to talk about this because this really pissed me off. What is this guy's name? I need to look it up again because it really bothered me that they didn't call it during the game. 22.
Rob Gronkowski. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Chauncey Gardner.
Chauncey Gardner.
Let me talk to you about Chauncey Gardner, okay?
Oh.
There was a play where Leonard Fournette is running up the left side of the field, right? 3 Saints defenders grab him to try to stop him. You know, they're trying to push him back. But Fournette's a big boy. He ain't going nowhere. You know, he's going to keep chugging along. So Chauncey Gardner decides what he's going to do is just start throwing haymakers into Leonard Fournette's ribs. They showed it on replays one time. I don't know if y'all remember that play, but it's the same play. Tom Brady was going crazy, and he was like kind of got into it with the D lineman.
No, I see it.
He was just straight up punching Leonard Fournette in the ribs. He hit him at least 6 times. Just boom, 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 boom. And I was like, did nobody see this?
Probably argued and said I was trying to punch the ball out.
He was the ball was like closer to his head. He was hitting him in the lower ribs like 6. If I can find the video, I'm gonna show you guys. But that made me so upset watching him just get away with that because that's not how you play football, right? If you want to tackle a guy, that's cool. Maybe if pushing him up top's not working, go for his legs. But don't just start punching him in the ribs to try to bring him down. Like that's ridiculous. Yeah, great game. I think we all predicted the Bucs to win. Thank God they did win because I know we all want Tom Brady to win us, or at least I know you and me want Tom Brady to win a
Jose,
Super Bowl.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, what do you
I picked to pick the Bucs also
to win a Super Bowl though?
to win a Super Bowl. No, I did not.
Oh, okay. So all right. So
I have
two of us know what we're talking about.
I just need Mahomes
On my
to
initial pick, I didn't, but I kept talking about how much I regret that. So
I just need Mahomes to get over his concussion so he can get that Super Bowl pick that I already got
Calm down,
the
buddy.
Chiefs going to win the Super Bowl. But I digress.
Well, my last thing I wanted to just say, somebody needs to pull up the stats on Mike Evans' touchdown yards this year, because I know for a fact that
it's all 1 yards.
Yeah, he had one.
However many touchdown Mike Evans has, I would add like 5 yards to it. And that's
Exactly. He's probably got like 20 touchdowns for 23 yards or something like that. He had a 3-yard touchdown this game. I know earlier in the season he had 2 1-yard touchdowns.
Yep.
Made him count. I'll
get that info for y'all. I guarantee you it's going to be interesting.
That's crazy though. Yeah, for the playoff game. I mean, the guy's a beast though all around though. He's been his production level has been a lot more except for this one right now, 1 reception, 3 yards, an average of 3 yards per reception with a touchdown. Not too shabby though. I can't believe I don't know about the percentages but I can't believe Tom Brady and friends only got 24.5% of the. But do you know that Tom Brady got a rushing touchdown? Did y'all see that one?
We did.
That was amazing.
That was the last one.
So yeah, the oldest player, playoff history.
Anything Tom Brady does now is going to be a record for the oldest player to do.
And I
that.
love hearing that. Okay, as the veteran of this group here too, the oldest player to get a rushing touchdown. Really good for him to do all that stuff. But I mean, he had a lot of things. He was firing on all cylinders. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that ref didn't give him a high five.
I know that was.
No, that was sad. Yeah. I was like, he tried though. Yeah. I saw the different angle. It was funny seeing the ref's reaction. Like, nope, can't do it. Can't do it.
I don't think people. I think Tom Brady has just won so much throughout his career. People are not realizing how big of a deal this is.
Mm-hmm.
He's back. He's back in the championship game.
My goodness,
it's his first year with this team. The dude is 43 years old.
Yeah,
That's
nothing short of amazing. Yeah,
kudos.
to be able to do that, consistently. Because I mean, like he's been to what? How many?
It's his 14th one.
14th.
This is his 14th
Golly,
championship game appearance.
guy doesn't stop. Had a lot. I mean, I think you guys covered all the basic topics. I mean, yeah, just a complete control, and I think turnovers played the difference right there. Played the difference on the game, and I think at the end, you heard at the very end of the game, that usually decides a lot of football games. Like so turnovers A lot of good reads, but yeah, just that tip. I think the last interception was just off the hands of his receiver. So turned out to be one for the ages, though. It was a really good game to watch overall, though. But with that being said, we're going to go on a little break right now and come back and discuss a few more topics that happened during the playoffs that we might not have mentioned. And then we'll see you back soon.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I weighed the person you are.
You kind of like this guy, but when you can't decide between the Filet-O-Fish or the Big Mac, and he says,
I'll get you both.
Thank you.
you definitely like this guy meal. Get it at McDonald's when you get 2 of your faves for just $5.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Single item at regular price.
Welcome back. So, we've discussed the NFL playoffs so far, and we're moving into the conference championship now. So, let's see here. We got Green Bay heading. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Battle of the Bays, right, Rob? The Battle.
Yes, sir.
That's a coolsportsguy.com article if y'all want to check it out sometime. And also, on the other side, what do we got? We got Kansas City playing against the Bills. So should be a couple interesting games. A lot of firepower in those games. So that being said, let's go go around the board. First pick. You got Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. Who do you have on that one?
Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. Look, if this was on a neutral field, I think pick would be easy for me. I would have went. Would it be easy? But I would have went with the Buccaneers. I'm still going with the Buccaneers, but it's extremely hard to pick the Buccaneers. And here's the number one factor: weather. It's the weather. Tom Brady is really good at playing in the cold. Everybody knows that. That's not news. He played in New England for 20 years. He knows how to handle the cold, and he's a tough person. He knows how to play in the cold. So does AB, Antonio Brown. He played with Pittsburgh for a long time. He knows how to handle the cold. Cold. And Rob Gronkowski. Same case here. But my biggest fear is that's it. Mike Evans he's been playing for Tampa Bay. He hasn't really seen cold weather that much. A lot of the players on that team, especially on the offensive side, hasn't played in Green Bay in January in this weather. It's supposed to be snowing, and it's an open field. So I think that's going to be a really tough matchup. It's literally going to come down to, are you tough enough to stick it out? It's not even just your physical ability. Like, are you mentally tough enough to just stand in the cold for 3 hours long and actually go out on the field and be productive? Look, at the end of the day, I think in a situation like this, when it's the playoffs, we've seen Green Bay do this before. We've seen Green Bay come this far before. We saw them lose to the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. We saw them lose to the 49ers just this last year. That's after the 49ers beat them in regular season. They met again in the NFC Championship game, and they got beat. And we saw the Atlanta Falcons just destroy them in the NFC Championship game. So the only difference here is Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers gets to play at home. And it's his very first home game for the NFC Championship game. So I think it'll be a really tough one. I think the game can go either way. I will not be surprised if Packers come out with the win. But at the end of the day, if I have to put my money on somebody to win a playoff game, I'm going to say the same thing I said last week. Don't bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs. So I got the Bucs winning. And that defense, they're playing good. Pretty good. Robert?
All right, Rob. What do you think?
This is hard. I think this is the hardest game so far this postseason to pick. I feel like the Packers are going to win this game. I feel like they have everything going for them going into this game. And that hurts my heart because I really want the Bucs to win. I really, really, really want Tom Brady to make it to the Super Bowl. Man.
I will say I think Aaron Rodgers has a lot more to prove and to lose in this game.
He does. Yeah, because if he loses this game, it's essentially going back to, I feel like this season there was a lot of, Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady, greatest quarterback all time. Like, if he loses this game to Tom Brady, I think it goes back to him, kind of playing second fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a lot on this. I think he knows that. He's a smart dude. I don't think he necessarily cares what the perception, of him is, but as far as legacy goes. Man, everything in my heart says to pick the Packers, but I'm picking the Bucs.
You just picked the Packers.
No, I didn't. I just said that I think they're going to win.
Oh, okay, I think you did say that.
I did.
Yeah.
Look, first off, I don't remember a lot of the things I say, but I remember that I said that I think the Packers are going to win. I'm going with the Bucs just because Tom Brady is one of my favorite players. I think he'll find a way. If anybody's going to find a way, maybe they rush the ball 100 more times. Who knows? All them Florida boys are going to have a rough go. Hopefully, that chemistry he's built over his career with Gronk will come into play. And it seems like him and Antonio Brown, if he's healthy, because I think he's still
questionable.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a little banged up. Yeah.
Hopefully, the chemistry he has with those two will be enough. Hopefully the defense will be enough. It's tough, man. This is a tough game. It's going to be heartbreaking if the Bucs lose. And if they lose, whoever plays the Packers in the Super Bowl, I hope they destroy them. I hope it's like an obliteration. Might as well be like a nuke going off. I know that's probably not going to happen, but yeah, I'm picking Bucs.
Interesting.
Man.
Who you got, Jose?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I'm actually going to go against you guys on this one.
Oof.
Because I
What
believe
happened to picking the veterans?
the veterans? Aaron Rodgers is a veteran.
Yeah, Tom Brady's a veteran.
Tom Brady's like
I
6
mean-
years older.
Okay, well, he's in the veteran-esque age. Okay, so I love when they ask Aaron Rodgers after he sets another or he beats another NFL record or he gets a certain milestone. He says that just means I've been doing it a long time. So I mean, I think that qualifies him in the era right there where he's been doing it for a long time. However, as we mentioned before, you got a lot of firepower, and they showed it this past week. I think, Tampa Bay is obviously a great team, but they are playing in Lambeau. So I mean, going into that atmosphere, I think, I don't know. I get the edge to Green Bay. I think at this point, obviously, there are two great teams. You're playing for the Super Bowl spot, but I believe that Green Bay has the edge on this, and I'm glad because that means that I can get a little edge, and I can probably catch up to you, Rob, if I get this one right, which I know I will because I already had them picked long ago.
Yeah,
Really?
I will say the 3 matchup Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady has had so far, whoever had home field won the games.
Well, it's only two out of 3, right? Or they played 3 games. Tom
Correct.
has 2.
Yep.
And both they were played at Gillette.
One, I believe it was 3 matchup. One at Tampa Bay this season.
Oh, yeah.
One was at Gillette, and then the one that Aaron Rodgers won was at Green Bay.
Interesting.
Very nice. I didn't
Here's
know
the
all
deal,
that
though.
stuff.
Aaron Rodgers has a history of losing in this specific
Game.
round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he does. But now he hasn't played that many at Green Bay.
He's never played an NFC Championship game in
So
Green Bay.
this will be his first time.
Yes.
So maybe the jitters.
That's right.
That's what I'm riding on. I don't think he'll have the jitters. He seems pretty
And he's
like
been
a stone cold killer, but
he's been enjoying that warm weather down in Tampa. He's just like, what? What's all this cold?
I'm talking about jitters for Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
His first time playing the championship game at home.
Okay.
He hasn't been to a Super Bowl in 10 years. He's on the cusp. He's going against the greatest, but arguably the greatest quarterback of all time.
No argument
No
there.
argument.
No,
there,
there's
yeah.
argument.
I mean, I'll
there.
give him that. He is.
There's some good.
No
quarterbacks
argument
out
from
there.
me.
But
there.
that's a topic for another. we could spend a little bit on that, but yeah. Okay, I'd say arguably the greatest quarterback of all time.
There's some. I feel like like he was talking about pressure with Aaron Rodgers. There's probably some pressure. A lot more pressure than's on Tom Brady, because Tom Brady's like, look, it's my first season on this team. I'm 43 years old going on 44.
Yeah.
I already have 6 rings.
I already have 6 rings. I'm chilling. I'm married to Giselle. I got my kids. I'm sponsored by Uggs. Like I'm chilling.
Right.
And I think if
I got an Austin Martin
look,
after me. Like
Tom Brady has everything. Anything he's ever wanted, he's got it.
Maybe it's just a different kind of pressure for Tom Brady.
I don't think so.
Different.
Because
it's the pressure of sticking it to Bill. That's
that's
literally.
I mean,
yeah.
he's already won that breakup though. It's by far he's already won that breakup.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I don't know. I don't think Tom Brady. There's no way he retires after this season. If he does, I think everyone will be shocked if he retires after
The
this season.
only slight chance of Brady retiring, very, very low slight chance of him retiring, is if he wins the Super Bowl this season. But yeah.
So you're saying it's a low chance of him winning the Super Bowl?
No, I'm saying there's a very low chance of him retiring if he
Okay.
wins the Super
If
Bowl.
he
That's
wins.
like the only time I would give it a little low chance of him retiring is if he wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
if
agree.
he loses the Sunday, he's not retiring.
No, there's no way.
When he loses.
He
when
was
he
too
loses.
good. He threw 40 touchdowns this season.
Yeah.
And yeah, he made some mistakes. He threw a lot of interceptions too, but he's
Yeah,
playing.
but coming back with building that much chemistry with all those
That's true.
those receivers.
And Chris Godwin is a free agent. He's like, I feel like everyone hypes up the receiving core of Tampa Bay, but I feel like Chris Godwin, he's had I don't know what's going on with him. He had an off season. He drops a lot of catches. I don't know if he's just used to what it feels like to have a perfect spiral landing in your hand or what it is.
Scotty Miller's still so good though.
Oh my gosh. Y'all were talking about
That catch.
yeah, I think that was the better catch.
I disagree.
Yeah, I get the whole turnaround and snap it the other way and catch it, and that was pretty
Yeah.
incredible to see. But
You're about to get drilled. That Scotty Miller play.
I don't care. How that pass fell perfectly. Maybe it's a better pass than it was a catch.
I think
Okay.
that was a gorgeous throw. That was a perfectly timed
So let me
throw.
take back everything I just said. It was a better pass than it was a catch. That pass was like the heavens split perfectly at the right moment just to fall into his hands. Both defenders literally passed him up perfectly. Sorry, I kind of went away from the mic a little bit. Went away perfectly right into his hands. It was the most beautiful. I was in awe when I saw that. That was the only play really
Tom
that game
Brady.
that I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
that was beautiful. So he's got a lot in the tank. I think you're wrong.
I mean, yeah, Tom Brady has a little bit of skill. I'll give you
A little,
Did I understate it?
yeah. I think I think the best storyline that can come out of this Super Bowl would be Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. That would be the best.
Well, and then if that's a scenario, win or lose, there's a good storyline
Oh
coming
my
out
God,
of it.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm looking forward to when Jose's wrong.
That's
That
Sorry,
the
but,
Bucks make it to the
but,
Super Bowl.
I'm sorry to tell you guys, but the lie detector showed that you guys will be wrong.
We'll see. We're a couple days away now. We'll know here soon.
I can't wait.
Just
It's gonna be a great
get
game.
ready to buy us that pack of Heineken. Okay.
Heineken. Okay, we're doing the non-alcoholic one, right?
No,
No, we're doing the right. Okay, regular one.
they have non-alcoholic IPAs now. I just saw. I saw that.
What?
All the great taste of an IPA and non-alcoholic. Yeah. I
That
was
doesn't
like,
sound
man,
right. Sacrilegious,
who came up with that?
man. But yeah, I'll get you the one with alcohol in it. That's okay.
Okay.
Wait, no, I won't, because I'm not gonna lose. Nice try.
See, it's a mindset, Jose. You already lost.
No, you tricked me. Okay.
See, this is what's happening to Aaron Rodgers right now. He's going in confident, but then he don't know.
It's like, what's going on here?
on
gonna-
that tequila run.
Yeah, he's gonna fall apart.
Man, well, then we get to find out who plays against Aaron Rodgers in the championship game between Buffalo and Kansas City. Let's go with Rob. Rob, want to start us off on this one?
I think the Bills are gonna win.
Never mind. You could have ended me.
that is all dependent. If Patrick Mahomes plays, I think the Chiefs will win.
He will.
If he doesn't play, yeah, it's NFL. They're going to be like, we don't care if you got a concussion. You better get in there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if Patrick Mahomes plays, yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. So I guess I'm taking the Chiefs actually because he's going to
Say
play
what?
no matter what.
Okay.
That
changed. I thought, okay. So
Travis Kelce, man,
that's a beast.
what a phenomenal talent. Is Jason Kelce Travis Kelce's brother? Can somebody look that up for me real quick?
Does anyone ever cover Travis Kelce?
Yes.
Why is that guy wide open for every freaking how?
It's because he's
That guy's
just
unbelievable.
He's just that team is. I cannot believe that they kept their same roster. They are brothers.
They are brothers, yeah.
Holy cow! They look a lot alike. I just wasn't sure. Maybe I'm dumb for not knowing that, but
Jason and Travis, younger brother Travis. There are two Kelce brothers, both of whom are in the NFL. Older brother Jason has been in the NFL since 2011, and he played for the Eagles. And younger brother Travis has been in the league since 2013.
what a phenomenal family.
Yeah, they do pretty good.
That's like
Beast mode.
The Watt brothers.
I mean, there's a lot of the Bones brothers, or not Bones, the Jones brothers, John Jones and his brothers. Like they're both of his brothers in the NFL, and he's
really?
the.
I mean, the McCordys.
Let's see how many we can go.
Man, yeah.
That's all I got.
The Manning
I was
brothers.
hoping we
They're
would
the same defense.
You got the Manning brothers. You got who else? There's it doesn't matter. Chiefs.
Jake
Travis
Matthews
Kelce.
and
Wait,
their cousins.
They didn't play at the same time, but the Carr brothers.
The Carr brothers. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you're just going families, let's say Manning family was pretty good.
Oh, families, yeah.
Tracy McGrady and why can't I think of his name right now? Vince Carter. They're cousins. It's a pretty good connection right there. Who else? Anyways,
Let's finish this.
well,
We're
Patrick-
going off topic here.
Hold up, Patrick Mahomes. His dad played baseball. Not the same sport, but still.
that's true.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another one of
Chris
those.
Sims and his dad. What's
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather and his dad.
Right, yeah.
That's a
the
good
fact
one.
that
Right
we
there.
know Chris Sims, but now his dad is the Super Bowl Hall.
I don't even know.
Of Famer.
Phil,
I don't know who
Sims,
Chris
Phil
Sims is.
I,
There you go.
I couldn't think of it either. I was like, I could see his face. So.
Hey, the Curry brothers and their dad, Del Curry, Steph
Yeah.
Curry, and what's his brother's name? I always forget.
And then LaMelo.
Oh, the Ball brothers.
yeah.
Yeah, too bad
Man.
for LiAngelo, but LaMelo, man, I'm jealous that you got him.
Yeah, but he's right, though. That's good.
Yeah, we'll get back. What was I saying? Travis Kelce.
Let's
Travis Kelce, man.
put a tack on that one.
He's
Okay, we'll
phenomenal
come back.
talent. Tyreek Hill, phenomenal talent. Sammy Watkins, phenomenal talent. That whole team is just, they shouldn't be, they're essentially like the 16-17 Warriors. They're just by far the best group around. They haven't been playing like it. I don't know.
Tom Brady will be LeBron James.
Maybe.
That 1 year that they won.
I think at the beginning of this season, the Chiefs were still the favorites, even though they just, obviously they just won a Super Bowl. But I mean, they're good. They're already back. They're not playing like Super Bowl champions, but they're still one of the most stacked teams. And I mean, Henne might be the best backup at this side of.
He plays for Kansas City.
Are you
Heineke.
kidding me? Oh, okay. I was like,
I said
dude.
this side of Heineke. Look, first
Okay.
off,
I'm sorry. I should have let you
First
finish
off.
the sentence.
nobody.
John only
Is
plays
better.
for Kansas City.
The only backup that was close to being as good as Heineke was Tom Brady when he was filling in for Drew Bledsoe. Outside of that, I don't want to hear nothing. Heineke's the GOAT. He's the backup GOAT. But anyways, back on point. Chiefs win. Close
win.
game. I'm gonna say
win.
field goal. Field goal or less.
Whoa.
Didn't they miss a field goal this this last game?
That's why
Look.
they could win by 6, but they're not only going to win by 1 field goal. So.
All right. So
This is your shot.
here's the reality. If I pick Kansas City, I might as well buy Rob a 6-pack of beer because I'm a game behind him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to double down. What's there to lose?
Exactly.
Bills Mafia.
Bills.
I need you to
How
come
about
through for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Bills.
Not bad.
That's I'm gonna go with the underdogs.
Well, I can.
Are they the underdogs?
They are the underdogs.
Are they really?
Well,
Against Kansas City?
I mean, it really depends on if Mahomes plays or not.
Have we actually? We haven't looked at any of the spreads for these games.
No, I'm pretty sure the Bucks game is 3 points. I don't know. Like, Packers are underdog by 3 or 3.5, I believe. I don't know what the spread for the Kansas City Chiefs. It'll probably also change depending on if Mahomes play or not. So if you guys want to make bets, I would definitely go put it on Chiefs right now because Chiefs are probably the underdogs. And then once they make Patrick Mahomes eligible to play, that spread will change.
Dude, CBS Sports -3 for the Kansas City.
Is Kansas City -3?
-3.
So they're counting on Patrick Mahomes playing then.
Wow. Yeah.
CBS, there's no way they would be the underdogs if Mahomes is not playing. Yeah, look, I mean, Bills only put up 17 points against the Ravens, but the Ravens have a really good defense.
yeah.
Really, really good defense.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a really good secondary, right? Bills they suck at running the ball, so they had to throw, and that's why we saw them being held to only 3 points in the first half. And yeah, I just think I think this is gonna end up being somewhat of a shootout. And I don't know why. All signs point to not picking the Bills to win, but I'm just gonna go with my gut here, and I'm just gonna say Bills are gonna be in the Super Bowl.
You ain't lying. The over/under is 54. So yeah, they're planning on some points being scored in this game. And well, I'm already gonna have a tie with Rob after the first game in Green Bay and Tampa. So I'm okay with going with Kansas City on this because originally, way back in the day when we had the top with the wild card weekend, I had all the breakdown. I picked Green Bay and Kansas City to go to the final game. So it should be Kansas City going into with Green Bay, and like I said before, Kansas City winning it all. But let's get to this first game first. Kansas City going in there. I think it'd be pretty interesting. Kansas City, Buffalo going in first, scoring fast in the first half, and then Kansas City coming back and winning it by 3 points, beating it by 4 points, whatever it is. Should be a really good game. That one's going to be a lot of fireworks in that one. 54 for the over/under. That's insane. So hopefully Mahomes is okay and he can go in there, and I don't want to rely on. By the way, let's just put this out there. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't start, I'm going with Buffalo.
Yeah, I 100% agree. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't play,
I mean, if he doesn't start.
because he's still.
Watch Henny just go in there and throw like 4 touchdowns and 0 picks.
Well, here's the deal.
Yeah.
If Patrick Mahomes doesn't play, I'm going with the Bills. But if Henny has a phenomenal game, I'm going with the Chiefs.
No, only thing I just need him to start. If he has one play, then I'm going with the Chiefs.
I have a
One play.
question. I have a question for Rob.
Okay.
If Henny starts this game, but actually plays so good that he wins the game to go to the Super Bowl, who you got? Heineke or Henny?
It's not even a question. I got Heineke. Okay, first off.
Yeah, can't compete against Heineke.
Heineke
Really. What did
was
Heineke
a
do?
beautiful
It was just-
star
What
that
did he
just-
not do? It was just amazing.
He made
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob. What did he
He
do?
just-
threw 2 picks,
Yeah, but besides that,
made 4 good throws.
all you do is look at the negative.
listen, if you ignore
I'm not looking at
those
the
2
negative.
picks, what else did he do?
Hey, we've been praising Heineke. I actually gave him a lot of credit for the way he played against. I'm just saying.
Gave him a lot of credit.
You don't think it's negative to be like, Henny, you're not, although you played better
But
and
you're
you
not
actually won the
appreciating.
game.
He's like a flower that blooms once every 1,000 years. You're never going to see that again. It's just that one time, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know if y'all ever watched the Dennis the Menace movie.
I did watch that movie. Yeah.
Okay. Do
Walked
you
him out
remember
there,
how
yeah.
his neighbor, I forget his name, I apologize to the neighbor,
Mr. Wilson?
Mr. Wilson, all right, was having this lovely garden party. He was about to win this award for getting this flower that blooms for like 3 seconds and then dies instantly. That's
Yep.
Taylor Heineke right there, okay?
Yes, sir. I apologize.
You should. Don't apologize to me. You need to apologize to Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke, if you're listening, I do apologize for mentioning that you threw the picks.
And comparing him to Henny.
Listen, That too. I do apologize for that. And you played phenomenal
He did.
against the Buccaneers defense.
And wherever you go, to the CFL, to the XFL,
Oh,
to
man.
back up on some team next year, may it be beautiful and bright like you.
He'll be a backup in the NFL. And he's gonna. I mean, he'll get a shot again against Tom Brady.
I also want to point out that Taylor Heineke's offense put up more points than Drew Brees' offense
Wow.
against Buccaneers.
There you go.
Did he really just?
Taylor
wow.
Heineke's better than Drew Brees.
Wow.
This just in. This just in.
Whoa.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I think you're right.
How dare you, good sir? But it'll be good. So when we get to the next week and Kansas City and Green Bay are in the Super Bowl,
Calm down.
it's going to be great.
That would be great, too.
I'll be sitting there with my Heineken.
I mean, look at the 4 quarterbacks we have left.
It's two
Yeah.
young ones on one side and then 2 grandpas on the other.
I mean,
I don't know about grandpas. Is
all
Tom
these
Brady a
teams are so
grandpa?
talented.
Tom Brady's not old enough to be a grandpa. Maybe like, is he?
No, he's not. He could be a very young grandpa
Yeah, okay.
if he had well, actually, I think he does have a 20-year-old child.
Nah.
Maybe not. Maybe teens at least. At least. He had a kid in like 2004, I thought. 2004, 2005.
Okay. Well,
So if he
Well,
had
let's hope that kid doesn't have a kid yet.
I don't think so.
I think so,
But
yeah, okay.
uh,
Anyway,
We're
okay.
going so off topic today.
We're a little bit.
look,
We're a little all over the spectrum there, yeah. But yeah, okay. Well, how about experienced players on one side instead of grandpas?
That's fair.
Thank you.
Veterans
Thank you.
versus rookies.
Veterans is still. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, veterans is fine.
this is, I mean, either way you go about this is, I don't want to say the past, but the past versus the future.
Ooh, yeah, I like
Old
that.
school versus new school.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man,
It is.
that'd be a real. Yeah,
So it's a beautiful changing of the
it's
guard.
gonna be
So
a
that's,
crazy Super Bowl right there. Yeah. So, well, then speaking of old school versus new school, there's been a lot of, if you look back at these last few games, we did have new school quarterbacks, Mahomes and Jackson. They're going down because of and getting concussions, leaving the pocket, and a lot of the veteran quarterbacks will tradition. I mean, right now they stay in the pocket. So with that being said, questions for me is, what do you prefer going into any game really, or into a season, mobile quarterback or pocket, or mobile quarterback or pocket quarterback? Which do you prefer, Rob?
Mobile.
Mobile. Explain.
Well, if your pocket collapses and if you're just standing there, you're going to get snapped. I would much rather prefer my quarterbacks, be able to get around and make plays on their own. I know Tom and Aaron both scramble really well, and they can both get big plays, even though Tom is probably the slowest football player in the league.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, yes.
He still has all time. He
I don't. Was he slower than Manning?
must have been.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
They could compete for
guess.
slowest, yeah. But I mean, like, hey, he has a rushing touchdown in the NFL right now,
Yeah. Well,
so I'm just saying.
it's like, I think when people think of mobile, they think of just like, I'm trying to think, like Lamar Jackson right now. He's a quality passer too. He's just.
Mm-hmm.
I think people diminish how good of a passer is just because of how ridiculously phenomenal of a runner he is. Like, he's probably a better runner than most of the running backs in the NFL. He's great, but he can throw the ball too, and it makes him such a dynamic threat. Same things with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes a little bit less on the running. He's a way better passer than he's a runner, but the fact that he's able to run whenever he wants. Same thing with Josh Allen as well. Josh Allen, literally, whenever they were playing, who was it the first round? The Colts. saved their playoffs with his ability to run.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd much prefer mobile quarterbacks to the ones that just stand around.
There's something to be said for yeah, like you said, they're a player like Mahomes, able to pass the ball, but also being able to keep the play alive, being mobile and everything. And I think for me, being able to keep the play alive, I think being able to keep the play alive from the pocket.
So keep the play alive one more time.
Keep the play alive. Well, I need to get my old mind has to really catch what I have to say.
Wind it.
Yeah, wind it up until I say it right. So keep the play alive one more time.
There we go.
From the pocket, I think to be able to limit those kinds of plays. When he expanded the play here in this last game, he put himself in a spot where a tackle like that put him out of commission. So I mean, like for me, just to be able to keep that. No, yeah, there's a lot to be said for a player like Mahomes to be able to keep. I was about to say the same phrase, but that's not what I wanted to say. That can throw the ball really well and can move around very well. For me, I'd rather have a pocket quarterback, but that's not to say that I think I want to be mobile as a very, very last resort because, that plays a lot for longevity. People like Tom Brady, Breeze have been doing it for a long time. They can move. Well, Breeze more than Tom Brady in this instance, but they can move, but it's not their option. And, it's very rare. Well, not very rare. Generally, I guess it all based on situations. You got a big player like Ben Roethlisberger too, is a great quarterback. But then you put yourself in that spot where you're moving around, you're getting hurt, when you can just keep the play alive from the pocket. And I guess offensive lines play a lot into this, being able to have a line that will protect you and keep you on your feet. Brady has a line right now, so that's good for him because he can't really move too much. But for me, I'd rather have a pocket quarterback than the mobile. And then use that mobility for a last resort. What about you, Tom?
So this is kind of a hard question to answer. So I'll go through this quick, but I'm actually gonna add a third category to make it easier for me to break it down. So you got pocket quarterbacks, you got mobile quarterbacks, you got running quarterbacks. And I think that's a lot of times when people say mobile quarterbacks, people are confusing that for a quarterback that literally just takes off and runs almost every play. And we saw a lot of that from Lamar Jackson. But I don't think it's because people underappreciate how good Lamar Jackson throws the ball. I think that's the play call the coach is giving him because they're like, hey, we can have this guy run too. He's such a great runner. Mm-hmm. That's the play call that he's getting. And problem with the running quarterback, and same with a mobile quarterback. My example, I think a name that we keep leaving off, mainly because they're out of the playoffs. Russell Wilson to me is a mobile quarterback, right? That guy can stand in the pocket and take a shot. He can spin out of pocket, take a really good shot. Every coach always say, "Hey, don't let Wilson out of the pocket." Not because he'll always just run around. He could if he really wanted to. He's a good runner, but he's also mobile.
Yeah.
Behind the line of scrimmage. And that's a dangerous quarterback. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Aaron Rodgers is still hanging in that argument of who's the better quarterback, Brady or Rodgers. Rodgers is a very, very mobile quarterback.
Well, he's good. I mean, remember those two Hail Marys he threw? What was it, like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah. It
Back-to-back games
against the Cardinals. Yeah, it was
Cardinals and somebody else. It was
no. So there was one against the Giants, which was unnecessary. He just went for it towards the end of the halftime. But I know for Cardinals, they were down by 7 points. Mm-hmm. It was a 4th and 20 from their own end zone. He completed a 60-yard pass, ran over there, got the ball. 5 seconds left. Pretty much the same exact play again, and he threw another 50-yard Hail Mary into the end zone.
That was to Richard Rodgers, right?
The Richard Rodgers one was against the Lions during the regular season. Gotcha. The same year. That was they were down 17-0 going into the halftime against the Lions. Came back. They started playing in 0 seconds left. He threw a 60-yard pass to Richard Rodgers. That was a beautiful Hail Mary pass. If you guys haven't seen it, go YouTube.
Oh no,
Rodgers to Rodgers.
Trust me, I've watched it 1,000 times.
But I think that's what a mobile quarterback is, right? Like a Aaron Rodgers and like Russell Wilson. Patrick Mahomes, I would put more in a mobile quarterback category rather than a running quarterback.
Right.
And if we're looking at it from that aspect, I think I'd rather have a mobile quarterback. But it all depends on the actual quarterback. And, hey, is your instinct to run or throw first? You can be a mobile quarterback, but only negative to being a mobile quarterback, or one of the negatives to being a mobile quarterback, is thinking I don't need to read the defensive line, or I don't need to read the defense that well because I know I can run. And when you have that mentality, hey, I can take off and run anytime you want, and when you have such a safe backup in your head at least, then you don't think about the films you saw as much. You don't study defenses as much, and you just kind of try to run out of every situation, and that's when injuries can occur. And look, a quarterback position is a big investment, especially when you give him a quarterback, or especially when you give him a contract. Being a QB is a big investment. Tom Brady, that's your perfect example of a pocket passer. That man cannot run.
Yeah.
He runs out of pocket. You can walk up to him and tackle him. Right? Talk about being slow. So like you were saying, Rob, like, hey, if the pocket collapsed, but the good thing about that is that man probably studies more film than almost any other NFL player. Right?
Yeah.
That's all he does. And so pre-snap, he just goes over there. He knows exactly where the ball's going to go. He gets the ball before the defender is making the cut, or I'm sorry, the receiver is making the cut. He's already releasing the ball in that direction because he knows, okay, I've already worked on the receiver. That's where the ball's going. And as far as pocket collapsing, I kind of mentioned this in the last podcast. They're protecting him well. Why? Because they're putting that extra man on the line because he's now mobile, making sure the line doesn't collapse. And he can throw into double coverage. So if you have an accurate passer who has studied films, who can stay on the field, and especially somebody like Tom Brady who can have those 8-9 minute drives and go, I'm going to keep this mobile quarterback on the sideline. You can win games. At the end of the day, when it counts, playoffs, championship games, I'd rather have a pocket quarterback.
Yeah. I think, I agree with that. The main thing, not that you can't make plays. Obviously, if you can make a play, go for it. But I just want to make sure my quarterback, because you said quarterback's a big investment, and it's the best. It's the most important position on a team. They keep the game alive, make sure everything's going on. So I'm glad you mentioned Russell Wilson. Yeah, I think it's because he's not in the playoffs right now. He's out. I forget to mention him, but that's a quality example. Like, he's mobile, he can move around, but the guy's got an arm. The guy's always thinking of a way that he doesn't have to do that, and when he does, it's explosive. Like, when you can't contain that guy. So even in the games that they lost, it was you had to do a lot to stop this guy. So yeah, good points on that. All right, so we're gonna take a quick little break then, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about a few more topics that happened along the week, and we'll finish out the show strong here. Okay, so whenever.
In the black and eyes, make my way into your mind. Just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. It's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but in the dead of the night. Teardrops on the floor. The pain is over. Feel the darkness take control.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or click to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
It's you and me. It's my voice talking sheep on the telephone. It's where I've been. It's the proof that I waited to say I'm wrong. Stuck inside my head that November. You know I never been the type to get up and surrender. That's how I feel. I don't ask, you don't tell, find a way to deal. Standing in the sun mid-December, listening to the songs that I know you love. Take me back in time when we used to fly miles above. I don't wanna come back down. It's everything. It's the clothes that you left with your memory. I've been battling with the ghosts from the past like it's poetry. And every time I think things are better, I end up at the start, colder heart than the weather. That's how I feel. I don't ask, you don't tell, moving on for real. Standing in the sun mid-December, listening to the songs that I know you love. Take me back in time when we used to fly miles above. I don't wanna come back down. I don't wanna come back down.
All right, guys, we're back. So we're going to finish off, talk about a few things that happened this week. Big news coming out of Houston, hometown. Deshaun Watson, I think they've heard a lot of talk about situation getting bad with the front office and him possibly going somewhere else. So
He's definitely going somewhere else.
I don't know. I'm holding out hope right there.
He filmed a music video in New York.
Do you think he's going to go to the Giants?
I think that's where he filmed it was a music video in New York, filmed in the style of, I think it was either the coach or the GM's favorite movie.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes, and it had the
Which
beat.
New York?
Giants.
No, Jets.
Jets.
And
Interesting.
the song that he used, the beat at least, was from the Disciples, and I think it was, I can't remember whose favorite rap group, but somebody in the Jets organization that was their favorite rap group was the Disciples, and that's the beat that he used for this song. He's gone.
I think he's just trying to make some music, and he's just gonna go back to Houston and go start.
Yeah, there's nothing subliminal about that. Subliminal about that at all.
I'm trying to be hopeful. Okay, he's one of the. We're talking about
Jose,
mobile quarterbacks.
It's time for you to face reality, buddy.
Look,
I
know
am
this is the
facing
first
reality.
good quarterback you've had in a while.
I'm
How
making.
dare you?
He's gone.
Are you disregarding Matt Schaub?
Yes.
Yes.
And Brian Hoyer?
Yes.
How about our $74 million?
Brock Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler.
Yes.
Love you, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
We did have Ryan Fitzpatrick for a little
Yes,
bit, I believe.
we did.
So everyone outside of Ryan Fitzpatrick,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, it's fair. It's fair. But
hey, who's
Deshaun-
winning all your fantasy games for you?
Me personally?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Or not fantasy, I'm sorry, your Madden games?
Are you
talking about
talking about
Stafford?
Case
I'm
Keenum?
talking about Case Keenum, sir.
First off, in Madden, not the real world, in Madden, I got to say this.
Not the real world.
I
right?
make Case Keenum who he is. In the real world, he's his own man. But in that
mean,
game,
when
I make him who he
And
is.
you draft Case Keenum in the 17th round? When did you draft him?
It might have been a little bit
17th, 20th round?
lower. He might have been like a 50th pick
But,
or something.
Hopefully, okay. Well, so it's just for me. I'm just hoping that Deshaun finds some hope, and they interviewed the enemy. So I mean, right now he's still coaching.
Yeah, but it was like a.
Too late.
Listen,
That was
he still has to coach
They didn't even
Kansas
interview.
City right now.
Yeah, I know, but he had a bye week. They could have easily got him in during that bye week.
But football rules, they had to bend the rules so
Okay,
that
that's
they
fair.
can interview him. So right, maybe he's happy right now.
Nah, they're not going to hire him.
Maybe all that stuff happened, and he said, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stick around. That's my hope right now." So,
Nope.
Who did the Jets hire as head coach?
Robert Saleh.
yeah.
Fair enough. I was just like, in my
Like, I
head
just
for a
wanted to know.
second, I was like, they should have Bieniemy go over
No,
there.
I mean, you wanted him to go to a 49ers.
I did.
So the 49ers, and now they're
Oh, yeah.
they're now in New York, so he could still go there.
That's fair.
So
I
I-
guess, yeah.
They have so
mean,
much cap space.
that little.
Well, I
shred
also
of
wanted
hope.
him to go to 49ers because of Shanahan.
It's the same system. It's the same system, and I think he's going to go to New York, and they're going to get a whole. There
I
you
mean,
go.
they're gonna have to
There's
do
your.
a lot of stuff. Yeah,
You're going to get a whole lot of draft picks for that.
What's good enough for Deshaun Watson? Nothing. Yeah, he's great. There's nothing they can give us that I'm going to be happy about.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's always going to be that.
Well, would you
hole.
rather have Deshaun Watson or a team built around?
I'd rather have Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
Well, I
hands
mean,
down.
you had Deshaun Watson.
That's true.
I
He
do.
played outstanding, but I mean, if you're it doesn't matter how great the quarterback is. If the team just sucks,
Yeah.
then I hate to say it like that, but it's true. They won. How many games did
Yeah.
they win?
4.
4.
And you know what's
Don't make
funny?
me say
is
it out loud.
two of the most loved superstars in the NFL, they pushed them both away. They
Yeah.
pushed away JJ, and they're pushing away Deshaun. Or, I mean, I don't know if they're pushing away or if it's them pushing the team away. But, man, those are like two of the nicest guys
Oh,
in the NFL, and they hate the team they play for.
And somebody we didn't push out, and I didn't mention this moving forward, but also different sport. George Springer, he's not playing.
Signing with the Blue Jays?
Blue
Who's that
Jays
with?
today, yesterday, whenever.
I think it was yesterday.
yesterday. Yeah.
Everybody from Houston's leaving.
Yeah, it's because they don't want to be associated with cheating anymore.
Michael Brantley too. He also signed Blue Jays. They had the same manager. So
There you go.
So they. Anyways, a lot of sad news, and I'm just hoping Deshaun Watson doesn't have to be part of that sad news as well. But on happy news, happy-go-lucky news, Phillip Rivers retiring from the NFL.
Why
after
is that
his-
happy news? I'm sad.
Well, it's good for him, man. He's
going off into the sunset.
Riding off to the sunset, getting to enjoy the rest of his life now.
Hanging out with his kids, enjoying life. I mean, like he had a lot. Yeah, he didn't have a success going into the Super Bowl and all that, but I mean, he had a storied career. He had a really good career. But yeah, thoughts on that, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, he had a fantastic career, and just that I recently found out in 2007 when he was playing the AFC Championship game against the Patriots, he was actually playing with the torn ACL. Did not know that. I think he was a phenomenal quarterback. I think whether he's a Hall of Famer or not is a completely different topic for some other day. I mean, they're such a nice guy. He has a great family. He has a huge family. He's got 10 kids.
Holy cow.
But look, the high school coaching job he took, I think he was very happy with that job. He was going to take it until Colt, reached out to him and asked him, came back, had a 1-year contract, $25 million. And I think you can argue he played his worth. I mean, he took that team to all the way to the divisional round, the wild card round. And, I mean, he actually played pretty well throughout the season. Throughout his entire career, I would say he has still this day weirdest way of throwing I've ever seen.
Right.
I don't know how and where that ball comes out of, but do partially feel a little bad for the guy because the other two in his draft class, both Eli Manning and Big Ben, both of them have 2 rings each, and he never even got to play in a Super Bowl. That's the only part of his career that I feel bad for him about. 5th in all-time passing yards, 5th in all-time touchdown. So regular season, he was pretty phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
and he stayed healthy for the most part, except for the whole torn ACL thing. But giving us a lot of great games. Thank you for that, Phillip, and I hope you enjoy coaching in retirement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about if the Super Bowl, no Super Bowl ring, because I mean, and I think in the era we live in, it's so hard to stay consistent, throughout the years and everything. To be able to do that for 17 years at that position, even if you don't have a Super Bowl ring, doesn't. I think, I don't know if it'll be first ballot Hall of Famer, but he'll, Hall of Famer in my opinion.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, so like you said, fifth in passing yards and touchdowns, right? So that's something to be said for that. And yeah, to come back and do that, get to that wild card, came pretty darn close. He almost got the Bills, had him on the ropes there at the end. So it'll be weird seeing Phillip Rivers not on the field right now. So how about you, Rob?
Best thing to happen to San Diego since Shamu. Yeah, he's gonna be a legend. He's Hall of Famer for sure. Not first ballot. Even then, I wouldn't take that away from him. He might make first ballot. He's an incredible player. He's a lot of the younger players in the NFL look up to him. He's hilarious. I don't know if you've heard his mic'd ups, but he doesn't cuss at all. Just a whole bunch of dang nabbits.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's a beautiful thing to hear. But I wish him the best. He played in the NFL. He played the way he wanted to play, and I'm happy that he got to the point in his life that he was okay with moving on.
And people should move on, like Deshaun Watson.
Exactly. Yes.
Hey now. He's not moving on. He's just rethinking things.
Do y'all think JJ Watt's gonna leave?
Yes.
JJ Watt? Yeah, he's leaving.
Why are you so okay with letting him go? He saved this city.
I can't. We can't keep him. But I'd rather have Deshaun right now. At this point, right now. I mean, JJ's been around for a little bit and
should have won a couple MVPs.
If he's tired, he's tired. I get it. I understand, but I think right now we are able to keep Deshaun, and I think we should. So I mean, if all it is, it's gonna be kind of hard to see what comes of all this, and hopefully they're good.
Yeah, I mean, the next one on the line, I don't know if y'all watched the post-game press conference with Drew Brees, but I just thought it was funny that they asked him about his retirement with the first question.
That's rough, man.
And then he said, I'm only going to answer this once.
One time.
Ruined everyone's questions for the rest of that,
Yeah.
that press conference. It was so funny for them trying to reword their questions on the fly without bringing up his retirement. Some people just blatantly asked anyway, but what do you guys think about him? Final thing.
I think let him rest right now. Yeah, I mean, especially after the game. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that's the worst time. Like, by the way, are you going to retire?
Hey, we know you just lost through 3 interceptions right in front of your whole family's face, but
right. Like,
is this it for you?
what is? Let him rest. Come on. I mean, the guy clearly has what it takes still to do it, but you can't do it forever. So whenever he decides, I think he's earned a couple of days of rest right now to decide what's going on. And yeah, as far as those reporters asking that, I did hear him say that like one time.
Did you listen to the interviewers after though?
After,
God, it was so. I felt bad for him because I mean, that's all he's gonna hear until he finally makes his decision. But
right,
it was just so funny to hear all the reworded questions to not ask about his retirement after that. Some people, yeah, like I said,
it's like, so if you're not gonna retire, what are you gonna?
They're like, so this game, last game of this season. How to feel lose bad? He's like, what are you even asking?
Let me rub some salt on that one. I personally, if I had to make a bet, I'll just the way towards the end of that game, you can see he looked like he was pretty teary-eyed, and just that look back when he was running into that tunnel, right as he was entering, he turned around and he took that look at the stadium. And that, I don't know, that looked like it was that last look at that New Orleans stadium. And we talk about how nice of a guy Phillip Rivers is. Nothing against Phillip Rivers, but I mean, this man has done so much for that city. Came in, starting with Katrina, donated I think he donated like $5 million of his own money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that he turned that franchise, at least helped turn that franchise into a winning franchise in the last 2 decades, and has done a lot for them. And he played his heart out. Look, if he comes back the only reason I would even suggest Drew Brees comes back one more year is, hey, walk out of that tunnel and say bye to your full stadium of fans.
Yeah,
that's the only thing, because he deserves that. But
like a 1-game contract,
just
so he can have his
just come in
his day.
But have week 17 at home game. Let Drew Brees come back and just let it rip.
Right.
So that's the only reason I would have Drew Brees come back. I think he had a great career, and I hate to say it, but I think we've been seeing him kind of on the downside. And it was nice to see him back on the field with Brady.
Oh yeah,
afterwards with the family and the kids and everything. But yeah, I mean, hey, gotta move on.
I mean, what a like run of games. Like, if I know I love Taylor Heineke, but like if Alex Smith played Tom Brady and then Tom Brady played Drew Brees and then Drew Brees, or then Tom Brady plays Aaron Rodgers and then Tom Brady plays Patrick Mahomes.
Which you will, yeah.
That's gonna be if Bucks win, it's gonna be a crazy story. You go on the road against all these teams just to come back, play a home game Super Bowl. Didn't even get considered for the Pro Bowl. Tom Brady was not selected for the Pro Bowl. And if you come back and win the championship game, oof.
Well, don't worry about it. He's not going to play Mahomes. It's going to be
buddy.
Aaron Rodgers playing Mahomes. So
Either way,
so it is.
some great
Man,
games.
this guy's so sure of his pick.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll right now, man. 4-0. Gotta get this. All right. Well, with that ends our show for today. Lots of great stuff going on. We'll come back next week, see how everything played out, and we'll break down Aaron Rodgers' win. We'll break down Patrick Mahomes' win. And then we'll break down Heineke. Oh, wait, no, we're not going to break down Heineke
You mean
anymore.
loss, sir.
Heineke never lost. He's just...
Not Heineke's loss. Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes' loss.
Heineke just ran out of time, okay? He was going to win. So, all right, guys. Well,
We need to get that guy on the show.
man, that would be great. Heineke's people, if you are listening, you know where to find us. Speaking of where to find us, go ahead. Make sure you guys like the page. We're on Facebook, Cool Sports Guy, Twitter, @Cool Sports Guy, Reddit, /Cool Sports Guy, and on Instagram @The Cool Sports Guy. So with Tom and Rob here, and I'm Jose, your host, and we'll see you guys next time on the pod with Cool Sports Guy.